People. Look who's on the podcast.
People, look who's in for the podcast. Hey, Brush.
I had to do that.
Yeah.
It would be wrong if it didn't.
Of course, mate.
So, thank you for coming on, mate.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
No worries.
I love the camera. I love talking a little bit.
Noticed.
You probably noticed.
So, we're looking just to find a little bit about you, what you're doing, and why you got into boxing.
Well, the reason I got into boxing is a long story, but I will keep it as short as possible. When I was 14, like most young lads with a bit of testosterone, I used to get into some altercations, shall I say, at school, and my mum would get phone calls. So she sent me to a boxing gym with someone called Michael Bailey. He's quite renowned in Birmingham for boxing, fantastic amateur champion, coupled next to Frankie Gavin. And he took me to his gym in Spark Hill, Birmingham Amateur Boxing Club, and I got humbled. I got absolutely humbled. I thought I was the big, walked in there with the little chubby ginger kid, and I walked in there, and Frank O'Sullivan, amazing man, he took me under his wing and said, right, if you show me that you can commit to this game for a couple of weeks, I'll let you have a go at sparring. So I had a couple of weeks of training. It was physically, obviously, extremely hard when you just started out. And then Frank one day goes, Brad, get your gum shield. And I thought, right, this is my time to shine, this is. So I ran to the change rooms, got my head guard on. It was massive. Like, we bought it, we thought it was so cool. It was huge, it looked like a right sausage. So I got my head guard on, I got everything prepared, my gum shield and all that sort of stuff. And then Frank paired me up with this little, he looked like a little kid compared. I was only young, probably 11, I was 14 at the time. And I was staring at him. I was like, can't wait to get in there. I got in there and I was swinging like a madman. And this kid pieced me up. He boxed, he hit me with jabs and 1-2s, and I couldn't hit him. I don't think I landed one single punch. My nose was bleeding, my lip was bleeding. Gave me one round. Frank goes, jump out, son. And he goes, lesson number 1 in boxing. This is a sport. You're not very good at it at the moment, but you can get better on it, so keep on going. And lesson number 2, you never judge anybody. As I said, this is a sport. Jump out, get back on the bags. So I got back on the bags, and I was put with these different guys, and I was getting humbled all the time. But then after the weeks got better, I was doing good spars with some, getting beaten by others, and as I got on and on and on, I got better with boxing, and I started loving it. Then, unfortunately, as whole is a long story, but I will keep it short. I was playing rugby at school, and I snapped my leg, completely broke my leg, right? I was chubby anyway, but then when I got put into a cast up to here for 3 months, my mum fed me chocolate to keep me happy. I put on loads of weight. And when I went back to school, all the people looking at me, I still love my food, I've got a bad relationship with food. People looking at me all different, and like, some people would start calling me fat, and I was still in the cast, and I was thinking, you wait till we get out of this cast, you're having it, you are. So when I finally got out of the cast, and people were still used to, I wasn't getting picked on, but like, people used to say things. I used to say to them, you want to have a fight, then we'll have a fight after school. So I used to fight a lot after school, and the police would get involved. And from the age of 14 up until 20 years old, I started picking boxing back up again. I knew how to use my hands. I was never an instigator, I was never a bully. I've always been a good person. But if people wanted to fight or pick on my mates, I'd be the first to stand up for them and get into trouble, which then brought the police to the door. And then when I was 20 years old, that's when my mum gave me the altercation and said, listen, my mum's got these piercing green eyes. She'll look me in the face, Brad. You do this one more time, I'm changing the keys on the door and you're out of my house. You've got to stop. You've got to stop fighting. Why don't you start boxing again? So I went back down to the gym, started hitting the bag, and then my old coach Ian, I had a black eye from the weekend from scrapping, and I was hitting the bag and he goes, you look like you know what you're doing. Do you want to fight on my semi-professional boxing team? Made it sound amazing. I was like, yeah. He goes, do you like fighting? I was like, yeah. And he goes, and you'll get paid for it. So I thought I was dreaming, that was it then. So I got into good shape. I started when I was about 15 stone. I lost a load of weight, and I just love boxing. I love the man versus man thing. I love the fitness. I love the hard work aspect of it. And then I had my first fight in the unlicensed scene. It's not semi-professional. It's white collar, unlicensed. And my first fight, I sold over 120 odd tickets. Loads of people there. It means I got paid good money. And then my first fight, I got dropped twice in the first round. The place was silent. Like, oh my God, Brad's getting battered. And then because I was so fit, I survived the first round. Then I came back, landed a good shot, and knocked him down, and then I finished him off in the second round. So I got dropped twice in my first round and finished the guy off in the second. That was it. Then I was hooked. And that was me boxing. That was why I got into boxing. That was a long answer. I am so sorry, but I do like to have a chat.
No, that's brilliant. That's what you want to hear, though.
Yes, sir.
Everyone we spoke to has got their own reason for getting.
Yeah.
But it's always like, you just kind of fall in love with it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Having
When you get good
that
at
with
it,
someone.
when you get, well, not good, I was okay. But when you start seeing improvements in your boxing and start understanding the sport aspect, which took me a long time to understand that it was a sport and not just a fight.
And is that what drives you to show other people?
Yes, so my story, this is going to be another long one again. So I started unlicensed and I was hooked, and because I trained so hard and I did live like a professional, I used to eat right, my diet was good, and I used to get into really good shape. So when I used to look at my opponent across the other ring, even if that was better than me, I used to think, you might be better than me, but I can guarantee I'll do more than you. So I used to, and that's why my style was aggressive. I wasn't actually very good at boxing, at picking and moving and scoring shots, but I was good at fighting, so I used to force the pressure. And after a round, I'd love to see my opponent's face start getting tired and taking a back step, and I used to think I ain't even started yet, I'm just getting warm, and that's why I was successful as an unlicensed fighter. So after 10 fights, winning 9 and winning a title as well, a Birmingham lightweight championship against Nico, shout out to Nico, good man, I managed to get a professional contract. And because I thought that style that I had of being aggressive and forcing my opponent to work would work in the pro game, 8-ounce gloves on, and I tried to have these fights with these pro boxers that knew what they was doing. They wouldn't meet me and swing with me. They just took up and we'd have a fight in the middle of the ring. So I got 2 draws, amazing fun, but wasn't any aspect of boxing whatsoever. 2 draws, and then in my second one, I got buzzed in my second fight. I've never been buzzed in my life ever, but I must have threw a lazy jab. I think his name was Dean Evans. He caught me with a good punch. I just remember my eyes completely going white. I couldn't see anything at all. And my bells had been rung. You know, you heard that saying in boxing, like all I could hear in my ears were like really loud. And I remember thinking, I could still feel my feet. And I remember thinking to myself, shit, sorry, I've nearly been knocked out. So I took a few steps back, and my style was always like this. And like, you know, when you get into a car in the winter, and your window screen's iced and you can't see through it. That was my vision. And when you turn your heaters on, you start seeing the bottom. Yeah. And that's what it was. I could see his feet coming towards me. Then I could see his shorts. And then I had these gears coming towards me. I thought, no, wow, I've nearly been knocked out. I survived, and you can't really see it on the video. But I was really buzzed. Never had that feeling before. Another draw. And then when I was training for my next fight, when you turn pro, you've got to have like an intensive medical, which involves brain scans. And my brain scan came back to say that there was a change from the first year to the second year, and I needed to cease boxing immediately. So then I was, obviously boxing is a dangerous sport. I didn't really understand that at the time. I didn't really care about getting hit. And it really humbled me then. Like my boxing got taken away from me. My dream had got taken away from me. I was working at Land Rover doing 3 different shifts and hating my job. And I wanted to become something, and now that's been taken away. So what do I do now? So I educated myself, and I got my personal training level 2 and level 3 with other multiple qualifications, and got my England level boxing coach. So I started coaching people to hopefully give my journey to somebody else, but not make the same mistake that I did. Like boxing's a dangerous sport, and we need to make sure that it is safe, and we need to make sure that you're not getting hit and you're winning on being a boxer, not a fighter.
Yeah, doing things the right way.
Exactly, that's my goal now.
And that's what your new promotion's all about, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you've got some people coming up in the ranks. Who should we be looking out for?
John Barber at 110%, and there's some other guys in the pipeline as well. So what I hated when I was going to spar professional boxers in Black Country Boxing in Wednesbury, I'd get paired up with somebody and they'd look all chiseled. I think, oh God, I'm going to get levered here. But I'd go and speak to them, and the first question they'd ask is how many amateurs you had, because that's what you should do. I still believe that. You should get into boxing at a young age and learn the sport and live the life for a long time. And then as soon as I'd say, no, I haven't had any amateurs, they used to laugh and go, how have you got? They would say, well, unlicensed, I've had 10 and I won 9 of them. And they used to turn their nose up, and it used to infuriate me because I work hard. I've always worked hard. So as soon as the bell would go, then I'd be on the chest. And I'd always give a good account for myself. So they white collar, what now, mate? Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I used to feel. So my goal is now, I set up my own promotion, and I'm trying to separate myself from every other promotion unlicensed in Birmingham, certainly. So have a good level of boxing, and not only boxing, to also show that it is a dangerous sport, and we are looking after you. We're going to have you a safe environment. So always match up same weights, same experience, and if you aren't experienced enough, you will be wearing head guards and you will be wearing 16-ounce gloves, and you will have to do a pre-medical check and a post-medical check to make sure that you are okay. So my goal is to create a platform for people like John Barber, like Ben Graham, like a couple of lads coming through that really do want to live the life and they want to become a professional athlete, because it can be done, and now I've got the connections to do that. So I've got like a league to the pros. If you fight on my show and you earn a title shot, you win your title shot and you defend it twice, then you're going to go for a test then with a contract manager to potentially be offering you out a professional contract. Then my goal is, after that, once someone's got their pro contracts, I want to give my show to be ran by somebody else, and I want to get my professional license, become a professional boxing coach, and hopefully take someone a bit further than I did. Not 2 fights and 2 draws and then be told you can't box again. Get some fights, get some wins under your belt, and potentially get a Midland title. That's my ultimate goal, and I will do it.
I believe it, to be fair.
That's the goal, mate.
No, this is good. So people like, how far along is John in this story?
So John's been fighting, I think now he's 7-0. He's the only person so far that I've come across that used to love the sport like I love the sport and trains like I used to train. He's a fantastic talent. And when he came to me a year and a half ago, he'd had no fights, and he came in, and I was actually going to match him up. I was going to match him up against one of my lads, and when he started boxing, he had a very forward style pressure, just like I used to be, and he wouldn't really move his feet, but he had so much talent, so much movement. He could bang through his weight as well, and I was going to match him up, and I said, nah, Chance, I want you on my team. I want you to fight for the Bosch Boxing Squad. And he was really grateful, and he was very polite. I love the first impression that he gave me, because it's lasted. I remember he walked out of the gym, and I was on to my next client, and he just shouted me again, and he said, Brad, he goes, thanks for your time, man, thanks for your time. And I just remember thinking, what a nice kid. And he's worked hard, and now he's had 7 fights, 7 wins, and he's absolutely whitewashed every one of them. He's 29, so I'm itching him to defend his title now and get your contract and get into them, because he's much better than I was when I started boxing, and I wish he realised how good and how much potential he's got.
And he's proper slick at it. He isn't like just putting his head down.
Not anymore, yeah.
He's just...
Yeah.
You can't... If you watch people fight him, and it just makes it look easy.
It makes it look easy. His lateral movement's great. I am taking full credit for this, though. When he came to me, he had no feet. He was a very much forward pressured fighter, and he still is sometimes, but he's now adapted. As soon as, because my mistake was I had no feet. I didn't know a backward step. I used to just get aggressive and go forwards, and that's how we used to win. But when it comes to the pro game, they're too smart and too cute for that. So like I said to John, you've got to start using your feet. He's light, he's nimble, he's athletic, he's in great shape. Use your feet, don't get hit. And they started adapting it now, and sometimes I look at him and I think, mate, you're good. You're much better now. You've added feet to your game. He can go on a front foot and he can put pressure on, but he's also got that beautiful style now where he is on the counter strikes and using his feet. And I've just got a lot of love, and I hope that he does well in the pro game. I think he's more than capable.
Yeah. No, from what we've seen, you can definitely you can see it happening.
100%.
So what's next for the promotion then? What's the goal for
My goals in the promotion is, it kind of fast-tracked a little bit too much, to be honest. The first year I did it, I was very inexperienced. I had to ask a lot of friends for help and for connections. And I did one show the first year. And then the second year, I had like a 5-year vision in my head of where I wanted it to get to. And then the second year, I did 3 shows, and that was almost what I wanted to get to. And then this year, I actually planned 5 shows, so it's just snowballed. I've got a lot of, because I am doing it better, I've got fantastic people like you working with me, doing all the great filming. I've got a fantastic team, Callum Hawthorne, amazing ref, great medical team. I've got a good team, and I'll put in a lot of effort and preparation into making sure that our show is the best out there, and there are other competitors and the people that I want to aspire to be like. But ultimately, I want to be able to eventually be doing 5 or 6 shows a year. But then I want to do make the audience bigger and maybe do less shows than you, but make them big shows. And at the moment, I'm packing out Moseley Rugby Stadium every time. That's 400 people. I want to be doubling it, getting 1,000 people. That's the ultimate goal, and really create a good promotion for where people look at that and look, if I'm serious about my boxing and I want to turn pro, that's the place to go. Yeah, that's the place to go.
Yeah, there's a clear path, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. I can't wait to be able to give someone a contract and to like, because becoming a professional athlete is such an achievement. And I think if I can help someone on that journey and to become a professional athlete. Now, I'm proud of the fact that I become a professional athlete. Like, when I get older, I'm not going to have kids, but when I'm speaking to my niece or my sister's grandchildren, I can't wait to be able to say, yeah, I was a pro, and I've got photos and I've got the proof to do that. I actually became a professional athlete. I want somebody to do what I did and just become better than what I became, and then I'll be happy then.
So if someone's just starting out, what's the bit of advice to be like, this is what you need to do?
I think you need a love for the sport. Like I love the sport. I've always been a natural born. I always liked fighting. I've always had that in me. I think some people have got it and some people haven't. It doesn't matter if you haven't. If you're not a natural fighter, it doesn't mean you can't box. I think it helps you along the way in some tough circumstances. But for me, I think you got to enjoy the sport. You've got to understand. I wish somebody sat down with me when I turned pro and literally told me about the sport. The sport is to not get hit. I wish someone told me that and sat me down. Don't get hit by this man. Your goal is to hit him. Don't get hit. That's the goal. So understand the sporting aspect of it. Really focus on defence and head movement and work hard. There's nothing like hard work. I think a perfect example of hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I think boxing is the perfect example of that. You get some kids that are so gifted and they should be making moves in boxing, but they get to their amateurs and they might become national champion. Then it gets to the age where it does really look about turning over and turning pro, and then they start finding drink or they get into a relationship or something, and they start fielding off then. But I think if you commit to boxing, work hard, diet's important. I'm not the one to say it, but diet is so important. Eat well, train well, sleep well, recover, and just live the life. If you can give yourself a good few years, say if you're thinking about boxing at 18 years old, if you can just give yourself a good couple of years of real hard work, consistent hard work, eat right, sleep right, train right, give yourself a good coach, a good circle, which is me, a good circle, and just really train hard and love the life, because it's a tough sport and it's a lonely sport, because when you get in there, you can take all the instructions in the world from me. It's about actually being able to do it in the ring under the lights, and I just think it's amazing. I think boxing's amazing for multiple reasons.
It's nothing quite like it, is there? You really do need to put your heart into it. There is no point.
100%. I shouldn't really say this on camera, but when I was young and I was training, I used to go partying, I used to go to raves, I used to make a few silly decisions. And don't get me wrong, I had some great times. The best height I've ever had in my life is walking to a ring. It's when I fought Nico. I was walking to the ring, and I was always, because I did so much training, I was always extremely confident. I used to work like no one else used to work. I used to work hard, and I used to always think to myself, can't wait to let my hands go on fight night. And then fight night would come, and I'd be like, shit, what if I lose, man? What if I lose? And it was like this emotional roller coaster. 1 minute I'm like, yeah, it's fight night. The next thing, I've got loads of people texting me saying, good luck tonight, brother, I hope you box well. I'm like, shit, what if I don't box well? Or what if I get knocked out in front of loads of people? And it was like this emotional roller coaster. And I remember walking into Nico's changing rooms when I got there, and this was for the title. And I remember walking in and going, I hope you're ready, Nico. And without even a second thought, he returned and said, you're damn right. And I was like, oh shit, he's ready, man. And I walked in there and I was like, oh my God, he's ready. And then all of my work came in. Nico he's a better boxer than me. He always has been. He's had kickboxing experience. And our goal, our game plan was it was over 4 3-minute rounds, because when I called him out, he said, I'm going pro now. I said, well, if you're ready for the pros, let's do 4 3s. And luckily he took the bait, because that was my game. I like longer rounds. I like being aggressive, because I was always extremely fit. And the game plan for Nico was don't give him no space. Don't give him any space, because if he boxes me up, he'll piece me up. So we didn't give him any space. I was saying to everybody, he's going to win the first round because he'll box well. The second round, it'll be close. The third round, I'll edge it. And in an ideal world, I'll stop him in the 4th round. And the bell went at the start, and like, I remember him coming in and he was doing all this dancing. I was thinking, shit, man, he's good. He can't be doing all that dancing stuff if he's not very good. And the first bell went, everything stops. And like, you're walking out and like your adrenaline's high and you're so nervous and you're anxious, and the bell goes and then everything stops, man. It's almost like silence, and like you just got someone in front of you and you're fighting then, and it's like, it's the best feeling in the world, and then you're throwing shots and you're getting slugged and you're hitting them back. And then, as I said, I used to love seeing their face change, where they're and they're trying to keep distance, and that's what he was doing. And I thought, yeah, live, I've got you, mate. And that was the first round, and then and the second round, I probably edged it. Third round was all over him. The fourth round I stopped him, like I said. And the feeling, right, after when you go into the ring with the announcer, the ref, the feeling of that, of being so pressured, and you got all of these lights and all these eyes on you, and you're going out there and you put on a brave face and you're like, yeah, I can't wait, man. But deep down you're a little scared kid inside. And then afterwards you get in the ring and all your training happens and you work hard, and then when you get the announcement, I'm not joking you, it feels like you're floating. But when you get that and everyone's shouting, you know, and that's the drug, that's boxing in a nutshell, man. It's amazing. And not only that as well, I struggle to diet. Even now I struggle to diet. I love my food. I love my food so much. But when someone said to me, Brad, you're fighting in 10 weeks and you've got to lose 10 kg, I'll do it. My diet's perfect then. So not only does boxing help you overcome loads of things, like demons inside, like maybe if you're doubting yourself, that sort of stuff. When you commit to something, you commit to it. What accompanies boxing is healthy living, and I think that's one of the best feelings ever. I used to get abs. I'll never have abs. I was walking around Land Rover like, look at my abs, lads, look at my abs. And then because I used to sell loads of tickets, I'd get paid quite a lot of money. And then, so I used to go on holiday for like an all-inclusive week after for a week. And I used to binge eat, mate. I loved my beer, I loved my salty peanuts and my chocolate. I'd smash loads of food. I'd come back looking like a different geezer. I'm not joking, I'd come back, my face would be all puffy, I'd have a big belly like I have now. And all the lads just come, where's your abs now then, Brad? Oh, right. Give me a couple of months, I'll get them back.
Yeah, it's nothing quite as motivated, is there?
Nah, you don't want to lose this. That's too much pride.
Yeah, it's like, have that chocolate bar and get beaten up. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Have it.
Forget the chocolate bar, I'm having it. Afterwards, I'm having chocolate though.
Yeah. So any bits you want to mention that we want to put into clips? Like upcoming shows, like you could do one a bit about.
Yeah, I've got an upcoming show on July the 5th. Jaw Drop July it's called. We've got Connell Coy, I should have mentioned him out. He's a fantastic talent. Another hard-working kid. I look at him sometimes, he's got the same relationship with food with me. So we're dropping down weight. He's going to fight for the cruiserweight Bosch boxing title, but then he's looking to get down to super middle, and which is a heated weight category for the Bosch boxing team. So yeah, Jaw Drop July. Connell should be headlining. John Barber will be defending his title, potentially against Peter Standish, another undefeated 7-0 prospect. And if John wins, then he gets his professional contract. So that's the next show for us, Jaw Drop July on the 5th of July.
That'll be a big night, then.
Yeah, it should be a big night, mate. You're booked tonight, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, good lad. Good lad. Because the best camera crew on planet get up with Hooks Promotion. Bosh.
Awesome, mate.
There you go, mate.
It's the only reason we got you.
Yeah.
What do you want from your fighters?
I want complete commitment to a fight camp. And when I say a fight camp, it's like, you have to do your road runs, because running and boxing go hand in hand. You have to do your boxing, you have to do your sparring, and you've got to eat right. You have to eat right. If I know that you've done them things for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, depending on your size, I know we can go confidently to the ring. Whatever happens, and I'm proud of you, and I just want them to do a proper commitment to a camp. I've got some of the lads that they go out and have a Guinness at the races and they're posting it on social medias. It kills me. I'm like, what are you doing? Do you want this or not? Do you want this? So I really want a proper camp for my fighters and just to give it everything.
Yeah, that's what I'd like.
That's all I can ask.
You don't mind about the result as long as you've done everything you need.
Of course, I do mind about the result, but as long as I know they've done their work. As long as they've done an 8-10 week camp, I don't care who's in the ring, you're going to be a problem. I can guarantee you'll be a problem if you've done all that training. So as long as you've done your work, then I can know, if you do lose, you've lost to the better man on the night, but I know you're going to cause him a problem anyway, do you know what I'm saying? So just a proper camp, really.
Yeah, definitely. What's the most valuable bit of advice you've ever received?
For boxing or just in general?
Could be life.
Hard work hard, dedicate yourself to something, and consistency. I wish I knew boxing's a long journey, and if you are starting your journey out, the two key words to take into boxing, into your journey, is to be patient and consistent. It doesn't happen overnight. Don't get me wrong, when you first start, you make fast improvements because you're learning the fundamentals of boxing. But you've got to be patient and you have to be consistent. There's no point doing it for 6 weeks and then falling off the wagon for another 6 weeks. And I'll do it again. Be patient, consistently work, and I can promise you, you'll get everything that you want out of it.
So, what would you say the most memorable moment of your show is so far?
Oh, there's been lots and lots of good moments. There really has been some good moments. People winning, John winning his title, fulfilling what I know what he's capable of. That was a really standout moment. King of the ring, when he fought Brendan Collins. Brendan Collins is a talented kid, and John just nullified him 5 rounds. That was a really standout moment for me. And also, going to my show and seeing it packed out is so humbling. Like, I love the sport and I love everything it's gave me and what it's done for me, but to see now that I've created something that public are coming to see, to spend good money to come and see, because it's not cheap, and being there and enjoying it, like people are dancing and getting really involved, the atmosphere is good. That's really humbling for me, and that's probably one of the best moments as well.
It's not 6, we're there filming it, and you'll see like the fighters might all change, but they'll still be the same group of people because they're just like, this is a good show.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whatever the fights are on, it's going to be good. Come and enjoy it anyway.
Yeah, it's good quality boxing, good fair matchups. Don't get me wrong, we do have the novices coming through because that's what we need to do. And also, but we have got a good level of boxing as well. Like, a lot of white collar you'll see and it's entertaining, like slugfest, and not really the aspect of boxing, but you do see in my show you have some good level of boxing, which is what I'm proud of. And as I said, like, the place is bouncing. We've got a great DJ, fantastic mic announcers most of the time, and it's just a good atmosphere. There's no moodiness. That's why I do tables as well. I don't want a typical white collar, fill it as many people, get as much money as possible. I do seated, allocated seats. Everybody's sat where they need to be. I put in a lot of effort to make sure one fighter's fans are over one side and the other fighter's fans are situated completely opposite. So I don't want any risk of people arguing and having a scrap tables going on, because it happens a lot. So far I've done 7 shows, 6-7 shows, and not one single altercation so far between people.
It is, yeah. It's never the vibe. The music's always right. I think that's the big part.
Yeah, no,
the DJ's always playing like
I like
tunes. Everyone's singing. You might have just watched your mate get that, but it's like Looking mate, it's a good tune.
Yeah, it's a good vibe. So yeah, I'm happy with them moments. Being humbled by how busy it is, and John Barber winning his title and defending it. I think it was his defence against Brendan Collins, and it was a fantastic performance, and just
everyone is just looking at little bit.
Being big in it for everyone, and there's loads of people like the amateur boxing coaches, like he ain't all that, and I know what he's capable of, and I know how good he is, and he's improving all the time. So every time he wins and puts on a good performance, it's just like, yeah, obviously amateur I would say go to, but don't slate my boxing team. Don't slate my boxing show, because mine's different from all the other white collars. That's my goal, innit?
So where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years? What's the plan?
Wow. Ultimately, and I think it's inevitable, if I'm honest with you, I do want my own unit. I want my own space. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Combat Sports Centre. It's done a lot for my journey. I've become a better coach. I'm surrounding myself with amazing coaches, and the facility is the best. This ultimately, to have this unit, is a dream. It is a dream. Is it a possibility? I hope so. But my ultimate goal is to have my own units. Bosch Boxing Academy. I am also learning to be a barber as well, right? So in my dream in the years to come, I want my own unit. I'll give someone pads for half an hour, and they go and they text me and say, "Brad, that was wicked, man. I feel great." I'll go to my barber, Danny the Barber at Giza, and it's like therapy. He gives me a fantastic trim. I let my stuff off on my chest. He gives me a good laugh, and I leave. And I text him, I said, "Mate, that was wicked, bro. See you next week." I'd love to be able to marry the two feelings together. Come and have an hour with me, bang some pads. I'll wash your hair, give you a fade, and see you later. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it would be amazing. I think it's just a millionaire's combination. So I would love my own unit. I'd love a Bosch Barber's attachment to it, and I would also love, because I love my food, a Bosch's breakfast and brunches. You've marked it here, right? Bosch's Boxing Academy, Bosch's Barbers, Bosch's breakfast and brunches, and the breakfast and brunches are going to be obviously situated for people that are healthy, living. Don't get me wrong, I do love an English fry-up. I'm not a massive fan anyway, but I'd love a place to have healthy breakfast options, protein fruit smoothies, and little protein bites. I love a sweet stuff, so like some places do like these little protein balls that have got some chocolate covered around it. It's like 70 calories, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd love my own unit, Bosch Boxing Academy, Bosch Barbers, and Bosch's breakfast and brunches. Bang, Bosch.
You'd feel unreal after that. You
Yeah.
go first thing in the morning, nice breakfast, session, and then a haircut. You
Yeah,
feel like
all the way around.
really
I got to like training with a full stomach. Come in, blast some pads, give you a trim, have a shower,
you get your
go and have
breakfast.
your brunch, your breakfast, and then go to work and tell me you don't feel 10 out of 10.
that does sound pretty nice.
You
would
watch
be
me.
feeling pretty special.
You watch me. That's my ultimate goal. Where it's going to be, I don't know. And this is a long time away. I've just got married in Egypt. I've got another wedding Saturday. 2 weddings. Don't ask me why.
Another one of yours.
Yeah, it's my wedding. It's like the official one. Still cost me a fortune. And then I've got a lovely honeymoon to pay for in this Christmas and New Year. Once all that's done, and I paid for all of it, then I can start saving for 3 or 4 years and try and get some good money behind me to get my own unit.
All right, lovely.
Brash.
Looking forward to seeing it happen, man.
Yeah, and I'll give you a trim.
Probably need it.
How was that?
Nice one.
Was that
And
good?
you got a nice fucking clap as well. didn't it?
That was a good game.